Hello guys, once again welcome back in our video series of C program by TechBooster. So guys, in this video we'll learn about main function. As discussed in our previous video, main function indicates our compiler or operating system the starting point of any C program, and in our program we need to have at least one main function. Also, we cannot have more than one main function in a program, because if we have more than one main function in a program, our compiler will be confused which main function to be considered as our starting point. Now, let us understand this one. Whenever you write any C program or whenever you write any code which you can also consider as an application, and when you run it, our operating system needs to reserve or book certain resources in order to run your application. And in our program, main operates as a chain between our application and our operating system. This is another importance of our main function. And if we talk about the syntax, how to use this main function, you can check out, this is our main function, and as I have told you, while you consider any function, at the end we need to have our open and close parentheses, and after this main function we'll be having this curly bracket, and within this curly bracket we'll have all our statements. And here your statement means nothing but your lines of code. And whenever you consider any function, you need to be very careful with this one. Our function will always return something. We'll check this one out in our function video, but as of now you just need to know our function will always return something, and main is a function which always return an integer. That's the reason at the end of your program you need to write return 0. Now you may have a question like, why only return 0? We'll discuss this one. Now here, if you look into the space before my main function, you can see this dash that I have used here. Here basically we need to mention the data type of our main function. Now here, as you can see, this 0 is an integer. So here in this case, my data type will be int. So what I'll write here is int. So my main syntax here will be int main, within curly bracket I need to write my statements, and at the end I need to write return 0. So now why return 0? Return 0 basically indicates that we have successfully executed our program. This will indicate our operating system that now you can release all the resources that you have used for this particular application. Also, in certain case you may find void as the data type here. You may find someone using void main instead of int main. So while you use this void, in that case you need not write return 0, because void means null, and in this case your main function will not return anything. You may also find someone not considering any of this data type. Someone may only consider this main function. Now let's move forward and check out the differences between them. Like, what is the difference between your int main, void main, and only main function? Here I have considered three syntaxes, and here my program will mainly print hello world. If I consider either one of them, I will have my output. But if I consider my only main function, that is my third case, in this case I will have a warning. Now before moving into all these syntaxes, we need to understand our variable. Like here in case of int main, if we consider any variable, like if I want to add two numbers, I need to consider two variables like a and b. So whenever you consider any variable, in that case our operating system need to allocate a memory location in order to store those variables. So here we need to consider everything within our main function, and here my memory location is nothing but my resources. So my main function will tell my operating system that you need to reserve these resources. And finally, once I am done with my program, by writing this return 0, will indicate our operating system that our operating system can release all its resources now. But whenever you write void main, in that case we are not exactly working with our operating system. We will be having our own run environment, and there in this case if you consider any variables, those may be stored in your cache memory. So whenever anyone wants to write a C program in professional way, we need to follow int main instead of void main. And also most of our compilers suggest us to use int main instead of using void main. So here in our third case, while you don't consider any of your data type, in that case our default data type will be int, and also you will get a warning for that. So guys, now let us open our code block and try all these things out. So this is my code block. Here first of all I will create a new file. Now let me save it. Let me name it as main example.c. Now here, as always, I will start with my header file. So that I need to start with include stdio.h. Now here in this case, if you want to increase the size of your text or if you want to zoom out, in that case what you need to do is control and scroll your mouse. You can see this is the way how you can increase the size of your text or how you can zoom it. Now my next line will be my int main. So this is my main function. Then I will have my curly bracket, and here let me just use my printf function, and what I'll write is this is my first program. So once you are done, at the end you need to use this semicolon. Semicolon basically means the end of a particular statement. So once you are done, here I will use return 0. Now let me run this particular code. Before running, I will compile it. So I will go to build and let me use this compile current file. So once you compile, okay, so let me go to view logs. Here you can see I had 0 errors, 0 warning, and once you build and run this one, you will have your output. This is my first program. Now here in this case, if I don't use this data type, and now if I compile this one, so while you compile, you can see you have one warning here. And what's the warning? Return type default to int. Here in this case, my compiler has considered my default return type to be int. And also if you don't use this return 0, and now if you compile this one, even in this case you will have one warning, and the warning is same, return type default to int. Now if you build and run this one, you can see you will have your output. This is my first program. Although you have your warning, but you will have your output. Similarly, if you use void main here, now if you compile this one, so you can check out you don't have any error or warning, and also if you build and run, you will have your output. So guys, this is the difference between your void main, int main and only main, and I'll suggest you to always use int main along with your return 0. So guys, with this I'll be winding this video here. We'll see you in my next video. Till then, goodbye and take care.